Hi, I'm Nan Simonson. I have a lot of people coming for the holidays. This is, Tuesday before Christmas. And we have people coming on Friday. We have a meal here for Christmas Eve. We have a meal for Christmas brunch. And I like to have some things around to offer them that they may be willing to eat, considering I am a whole food plant-based, have been going on 5 years now, which means no animal product at all. So the word is vegan, but that brings along with it some other stuff like, well, what? Coke is vegan and Oreos are vegan, and I'm talking about eating whole foods that are as close to nature as possible, that are plant-based. Well, how am I gonna make chocolate cupcakes that are whole food plant-based, no milk, no eggs, no butter, no sugar, because I'm trying to stay whole foods as close to nature as possible? Well, I found this recipe. I am so sorry, I don't know who it's from. It says BCC, beet, banana, and cocoa muffins. And that's all I have on this copy. So I tried to find it that way. I tried to find BCC muffins. Anyway, couldn't find it. So if this is your recipe, let me know and I'll note it, because it is a wonderful recipe. And no, it's not the same as those muffins you're going to buy with all that other stuff in them. But this is like eating a meal with healthy things, because the first thing in here is beets. This is about 17 ounces of beets. You can buy them frozen. No, well, I guess you could buy them frozen, cooked, frozen. You can buy them cooked in a vacuum-packed bag. Trader Joe's offers them that way. But I just made these. I cooked them they're small beets. I cooked 2 pounds of them from raw in my Instapot. As a matter of fact, I put them at the bottom in a rack, then I put a plate, and then I put a bunch of Yukon Gold potatoes that I wanted to steam about the same size, did the whole thing for 11 minutes. Potatoes were perfect, lifted them off. Of course, I separated them or they would have been all pink from the beets. And then I had these wonderful cooked beets I've been adding to my salad. So I measured out, weighed out 17 ounces of beets and put a little bit of their juice in. And we're gonna break them up before we put anything else in here. And let's see, there we go. All right, they're broken up. Now, I'm gonna add dates to that. And these are medjool dates. I could have done Neglet or Deglet Noir, but I like the bigger, fatter, sweeter, softer medjool. All right, so I've broken those up. Now I'm gonna clean things up a little bit, because I want this to be a homogeneous mixture, and little bits of beet and date stuck to the top and falling in whenever they want is going to change that. This really smells good. So I am using beet, date, and what else to sweeten this and add moisture. You'll see I'm going to use a little plant milk, but the other thing I'm adding is banana, 2 large ripe bananas. So this is what the other one looked like, ripe. And I broke that up. Well, now I've got a handful of bananas, so let me first do this and get its little stringy bits out of there. And don't worry, my hands are newly washed. And we'll break that up. We'll add the other banana, so that was 2. And we're gonna mix that up. And so I'm creating this moist, the wet ingredients. Let's see. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to use any of the plant milk until I get the oats in. Now, the recipe simply said add the rest of everything, but I feel better if I'm using things like baking powder and cocoa, and this is oats. These could have been thick cut rolled oats, but they're just regular. Oh, well, actually they're organic. I always do organic grains, including oats, and they are organic, gluten-free. And you'd say, well, oats are gluten-free. Nah, not necessarily if they're made in a facility that uses or packages wheat or barley or spelt or any of those other glutinous grains. I'm going to use a spoon to stir this. And I just added baking powder. I'm going to add, and I wanted to leave this in the bag to show you. This is ridiculously expensive, but oh my gosh, does it add a lot to a recipe. And that is, this is vanilla. It's wild vanilla powder. No GMO, vegan, 100% natural, which means absolutely nothing. Couldn't find it in certified organic, but there you go. A half a cup. And what this is they take all those little seeds out of a vanilla bean. You split it open, you scrape out the seeds. That's what this is. So we have vanilla powder, and you can get it on Amazon, and ridiculous expensive is like $25 for that, but I've had it for a long, long time because you use a little bit at a time. And so I have the oats, I have baking powder, now I have cocoa. And some people think, oh, well, then if it's chocolate, it's very fattening. No, it's not. Not unless the chocolate has a lot of fat in it. If you get a chocolate bar that has a bunch of stuff in it, or milk chocolate, which has a bunch of cream and sometimes butter, yeah, you've got a fattier product. But this is organic cocoa powder. Look at the ingredients. 2.5 tablespoons has 1.5 grams of fat, but has 5 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein. This is well, it's not quite a whole food, but almost. It's a pod that they grind and add absolutely nothing to. Certified organic cocoa powder. And a good healthy, let's say chocolate bar would be 73% or more. I don't know what percentage of all of this is going to end up becoming, but I'm adding a antioxidant, a healthy ingredient. So I'm going to mix this in lightly, and then we'll, by the way, the cacao powder is very, there's a beautiful word for it, and I can't think of the word, like chiffon. There's a word, I can't think of it. Anyway, it has that kind of a billowy softness, so when you're trying to measure it, it's like poofing all over the place, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to mix this now, and we're just about done. I'm going to stir in all walnuts, because as far as I'm concerned, if I eat chocolate, it has to have nuts involved. All right, and we'll see if we decide that we're going to add a little bit of moisture. So here we go. I don't want to overmix. And I want to make sure I got everything blended. You know what this looks like? This looks like a, what is that red cake? The red velvet cake, that if you buy it, if you eat even a piece, you're getting a mass of fat, bunch of eggs, pure sugar, and whatever stuff they can add to it. And what's the point of the whole foods? Because that's what our body knows what to do with. That's what your microbiome thrives on, whole foods. Okay, I'm going to mix it one more time to incorporate the oat just a little bit more, to give it a more, I'll call it a flowery texture. Flower, not flowery like, you know, garden flowers. Okay, I'm gonna taste. Woo, ah! Okay, there it is on the floor. Luckily, my floor is not white. Oh, that's nice. Okay, here come the nuts. I'm gonna add, the recipe says you can add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of plant milk if you want a looser consistency. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add probably that 1/4 cup rather than 1/2. I don't want it really wet, but I want it a little bit more buoyant, I think, than just condensed. Okay, we're done. I've got to get a spatula. And pick up the one from the floor. All right. Do any of you have dogs? It was so convenient when something hit the floor. The dogs came and cleaned it all up. I haven't had a dog for a while since the last one aged out. All right, so I'm gonna take this out, the beater, the S-blade as they call it, and add the nuts. And then we're gonna fill the muffin pan. I may, after I finish, after I'm done with you, I may put this all in a bowl so I can get it out of the bowl more easily. But let me fill a couple of muffin pans and see if that's really a big deal. All right, I'm stirring in about 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. And to me, that will make it. Okay. I'm going to show this to you up close. It's very red, like a red velvet cake. It has a nice consistency, but this will be dense. This will be a dense muffin. And okay, now I'm getting really personal with you. Okay, as a health coach, I'm a lifestyle medical health coach. I've worked with the same clinic that is actually founded by and run by one of the founding members of the College of Lifestyle Medicine. I've learned a lot from them. And so I talk to people all the time about personal stuff. Well, one of the things I was going to say to you is that you got to remember when you eat beets, they're going to affect you. What comes into your body will go out of your body, and the beets will color sometimes even the urine. And for sure, the stool. I'll use the word stool. And that can scare people, because if they don't remember, they think, oh my gosh, I've got some who knows what, because everything's red. Just remember what you've been eating. Okay, I'll scrape that one more time. And I'm using a silicone muffin pan. And let's see. There we go. So I'm just pulling out big spoons full. Now I'm not going to keep you for all of this, but I'm going to fill 12 muffin cups. I'm going to cook them at 400, and we'll see how long it takes. Probably about 20-25 minutes. And then I'll show you what we have. I'll break one open, show you that as well. And I'll let you know what it tastes like. Have a great day. I know I'm going to until I see you again. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show you something before I even talk about the muffins, because I didn't address this. When I was making them, I was using a food processor, and you may have thought, what is that? It was on the base of my Vitamix, and I was at a conference and I saw this and I thought, I've got to have it. The Ascent series and one other series of the Vitamix allows for an accessory and of a food processor, and that's exactly what mine does. It simply sits on the Vitamix as the carafe would, and it is a food processor with an S blade, with the chopping or the shredding blades and all of that. If you want to know more about it, you can even call Vitamix and ask them what models it will go on, etc. So that's out of the way. All right, so these muffins are so great. If you are whole food, plant-based, dedicated, you're not looking to have all the fluff and all of the sweetness of a conventional muffin. These are moist, they're very flavorful and very healthy. Again, think of what's in them. A lot of beets, banana, dates. It turns out, because you're getting 12 muffins and you use 12 dates, that you're getting a date per muffin. So in other words, eating one of these is giving you a date, about an ounce and a half or so of, no, it's even more. Yeah, an ounce and a half or so of beet. You've got your oat in there, you've got the walnut, but let me show them to you close up. Look, they are so moist and so delicious. There is no need for that extra plant milk that I put in there. And use a toothpick to test it, because the recipe called for 22 minutes of cooking. That was very specific. I tested it at 22 minutes and the toothpick came out with too much stuff on it. So I cooked them for 25. So maybe test. Every oven is different. And I guess that's all I have to say about it. So again, I'm Nan Simonson. I'm a health coach. I focus on loving the food that loves me back, that is as healthy as possible and as delicious. These are a rich, moist, they almost look like a red velvet cake kind of a muffin. And not like your conventional muffins, but absolutely a great way to get in some chocolate flavor and some real nutrition. Consider aging powerfully with me. That's the name of my book, and I talk about how we can age for decades longer when we adopt a lifestyle as medicine view to food and lifestyle. Have a great day, because I know I'm going to. Bye-bye.